Keyword transformation 19. I recommend writing down this question on your computer or on a piece of paper. And when you've done that, press play on this video and we're going to go through it using my 10-step technique. Okay, so hopefully you've written it down and maybe you even think you know the correct answer. But even if you do, go through the technique with me, because when we memorize this technique, it will make the future questions a lot easier and quicker to answer. So, step number 1 is to read the example sentence and the sentence with the missing information. Example sentence: Mark's children are never invited to parties now because of bad behaviour. And the sentence with the missing information: Mark's children, they are never invited to parties. Step 2 is to put a line through the duplicate information in both sentences. So take a minute and put a line through the information you find in the top sentence, which is the same as the information in the bottom sentence. And when you've done that, press play on this video and we'll see which words I put a line through. Okay, so I've put a line through Mark's children are never invited to parties. Step number 3 is to identify the type of word they give you, which is that. Is that a noun, a verb, or an adjective, or a different type of word? Write down what you think. And now I will tell you that the word that is a conjunction, or it can also be a pronoun, or it can be a determiner, or it can be an adverb. So it can be many different types of words. And it's important to learn about types of words to help your English in general. It really does make a difference. It will also help us a lot in answering keyword transformations. Step 4. Is this word, that, used in any common collocations, expressions, phrasal verbs, etc.? Okay, so pause the video again and have a think. Can you think of any common collocations, expressions, phrasal verbs with the word that? And when you've written those down, press play. Okay, so I actually couldn't think of that many using the word that, and so I didn't write any down. But it shouldn't be too important. Let's go on to step 5. In this step, I'd like you to try to now fill in the gap, using the word that and using the information in the example sentence without a line through it. So take a minute to try to do that, and when you've done it, press play. Okay, so these are the words which I wrote in the gap. Are so badly behaved that. Don't worry if you wrote down different words, yours may still be correct. And you can continue using the next steps of my technique with your words, but I'm going to continue using them with the words I have here. So, step number 6 is, if you're not sure about the answer, try asking yourself a question using the information you have. So again, take a minute and try to create a question about this information and try to write a full sentence as your question. I will do the same. So when you're finished, press play and we'll see which question I write. Okay, so the question I've written down is, are Mark's children so badly behaved that they are never invited to parties? And now in step number 7, we're going to try to write an answer to this question. So take a minute again and try to write a full sentence as an answer to the question that you've written down. Or, if you prefer, you can write a full answer to the question I've written down. And I'm going to do the same. When you're ready, press play. So, the answer I've written down is, yes, Mark's children are so badly behaved that they are never invited to parties. And I've got this answer from the information that was given to us in the example sentence. And I can see that the words that I'm using in my answer here are actually the same words that I've used to fill in the gap. And that's a good sign. So, step number 8 is, can I now put a line through the remaining information? Take a second and see if you can put a line through the remaining information in your example sentence and also in the words that you've put into the gap. Okay, so I've put a line through bad behaviour and badly behaved. There are a few words which don't have a line through, but might not be important. So let's move on to step number 9. Is the overall meaning of your completed sentence the same as the overall meaning of the example sentence? So the example sentence, Mark's children are never invited to parties now because of bad behaviour, and my sentence, Mark's children are so badly behaved that they're never invited to parties. Yes, I think that the overall meaning is the same. So finally, step 10, do the words we're using match each other? So we have children, and children is plural, so we should say are afterwards in this circumstance and not is, so that's correct. And we often say so, and then an adverb, possibly, and an adjective, and then that with a clause after it. And as I say at the bottom here, exactly that. Subject, and then be, which we have Mark's children and are. So, then an adverb, badly, adjective, behaved, that, ... So yes, it seems good to me. With my knowledge of English, I think this is the correct answer, and I can tell you that it is the correct answer. If you've written a different answer that you also think is correct, you can write to me and ask me to check it. If you think you got the question wrong, don't worry, because we're going to do a lot more example sentences like this. So I will see you again using my 10-step technique with keyword transformation 20.